what is this Hampden-Sydney Man stuff all about? And the thing that I discovered more than anything else is that Hampden-Sydney men serve. They serve as fathers, as husbands, as uncles. They serve in police and law enforcement. They serve as lawyers and bankers. They serve in the local PTA. They serve on the city council. Not a day, not a week goes by that I don't get an email where Hampden-Sydney Man has run for the local school board, or run for the city council, or led a volunteer initiative. But at our core, what we do is we serve. One of the things I always said was, when in doubt, serve others. And I want to leave you all with that. Mike Pace, class of 1979. Mike is a managing partner at Gentry Lock, Rakes, and More. Go ahead and give him a round of applause. McKennon Shea, class of 2005, who is now the director of admissions at Duke School of Divinity. Okay. We have two Tims and two Mikes, so if I say Tim or Mike, I got a pretty good chance to get the name right. Tim McKay, class of 1996. He was a lieutenant of the Chesterfield Fire Department, but has a wonderful dual career leading the volunteer fire department in Farmville. So we'll hear about that in a few minutes. Tim Beatty, class of 1997. He was assistant principal of Lynchburg City in the Lynchburg City Public School System. Mike Dowd is from the class of 2011, right here to my right. Mike does a lot of great things in Hampden City. We're going to talk about a program he does here called Rams. He's also on the golf team, does some other great things. Crawford Simpkins, also class 2012. Crawford is a student court, an RA, and just an all-around great guy. And so I'm going to start with you, Crawford.
My tour at Hampden-Sydney kind of started with my president of my high school, or headmaster of my high school. He was a Hampden-Sydney graduate. And he always sort of kind of took my shoulder all the time, and he always, I think he saw me as a Hampden-Sydney man. So I always looked up to this place, I always looked up to that man, and I always looked up to the great service he did to the city of Charlottesville. And this summer I wanted to go to New Orleans, just said, hey, I'm going to New Orleans. Got an apartment there, had a cool job at the mayor's office. Didn't work out. Ended up was in New Orleans with no job, and ironically the oil spill happened. Transocean exploded and oil was spilled all over the Gulf. And I had an opportunity, I had a decision, I had a drive, I had a real heart for this place. And I said, okay, I'm gonna go work there. I'm gonna go work at Transocean. I'm gonna go work on the beaches. I'm gonna do whatever I can.
Thank you very much for that answer. And you know, it's very important that as you learn to give back, sometimes you're the one right there in the front lines. Sometimes you're the one just a step behind. But the tip of the spear can only be so pointy because the people that are behind it are supporting it and holding it up, and that's what you were doing, and that was a great way to give back. Mike, let's transition to you. You're coming from Richmond. Tell us how you got to Hampden-Sydney and a little bit about the Rams program.
I'm from Richmond, Virginia. Went to collegiate high school. I'll be a senior here this year. Senior year, I applied to a ton of different colleges, got into 5 or 6, and then honestly came up here for one weekend, and I really didn't even consider Hampden-Sydney as a choice, and I loved it, loved the atmosphere, and I got to play on the golf team, so that was a little bit of part of it, and I love the small classes, and just love being able to say hi to everyone when you're walking around, which I'm sure you guys will start to pick up on. Going into my junior year with a couple friends, I started a nonprofit organization called RAMPS. It stands for Ramp Access Made Possible by Students. And what we do is do a lot of fundraising and then assemble modular wheelchair ramps for people who are in need or trapped inside their homes in wheelchairs with whatever kind of condition they might have, and they cannot afford a ramp. Everyone wants to help again. So you're out there with your friends, you get out there with 5 guys, 5 of your friends, and you actually have to pay for a third of the ramp, so that's about $1,000. So you have to figure out how you're going to raise that money, and it's kind of your little project. And you know, the finished product is you pay for a ramp, you install it, and you immediately change someone's life and get them outside the house. So I hope you guys get involved, and you know, it's fun, and you're doing something good for the community, and it's always nice to help out just around Farmville, around the area. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. Like I said, there's some brochures.
Look, I think that it's really neat that there's a very tangible result of making something so someone can, like you said before, we were talking in my office earlier, literally leave the house for the first time in several months. I wanted to, or even a year or so, I want to transition to McKennon Shea because his calling is a little less, shall we say, tangible. You can maybe put your hands on it, and more spiritual, more psychological. It's a different calling. So McKennon, tell us a little bit about your journey to Hampden-Sydney and faith as being a big part of that.
So I grew up in Arkansas, and I didn't want to come to Hampden-Sydney. So some of you probably don't admit that, but you're like me. But as it turns out, and many of you will find this to be true, it didn't take long for me to realize that this place made sense to me. I made good friends. I happened to live down the hall from John Ramsey, which didn't hurt. You know, this was a place that I found a good sense of community. I found good friends. I found the academics to be incredibly challenging and helpful. I didn't know if maybe I just really enjoyed studying theology and just really enjoyed my religion classes as an academic pursuit, but maybe that wasn't necessarily my vocational calling. You know, and so these next 4 years are a time to answer those questions. I had those questions answered for me here.
Thank you for sharing that. And what's neat about McKennon's story, and the next two Tims, and I'll start with Tim Beatty first, is the service and the calling and the career and job are all intertwined. Later on, when we get back to Mike Pace, the job and the calling, and the service part, they interact. There was a little bit of space, and they kind of brought them together. But these two guys, what they hung on their, what they hang on their door, and the service part, as we're defining service tonight, are very, very similar. So Tim, why don't you tell us your story, where you're from, and how you got into teaching?
My name is Tim Beatty. I'm an associate principal here at Child School in Lynchburg, Virginia. And the one thing, if I can leave one thing with you, is the word connections, because this place will give you an outstanding opportunity to create connections with people, because Hampden-Sydney has an outstanding networking system where you can interact and meet different alums all over the place. Now, another thing that attracted me to Hampden is actually the student-to-teacher ratio. It's outstanding. You get an opportunity to have a relationship with your professors and get to know them on a personal level. And so if there's two things I can leave with you today, is establishing a connection with somebody and being able to network amongst the alums here at Hampden-Sydney all over the country, because it has an outstanding networking system, and every Hampden-Sydney alum knows each other in one way, shape, form, or fashion. And it's just an outstanding opportunity for you to be a part of something special.
Got invited to come down here and take a look around, and was on this campus all of about 15 minutes before I said, this is where I belong. I fit in, this is home. And so I ended up here. Within a few days of my arrival, I joined the Hampden-Sydney Volunteer Fire Department. Joined the local rescue squad, the fire department here, and had both service and leadership opportunities. And as I've been listening, one of the things that I think is interesting about this is we're discussing, you had a passage on leadership to read. Why aren't we talking about service? Well, service and leadership kind of sound like they would be diametrically opposed, when in reality they are absolutely complementary. You know, by serving we lead. Helping other people feels good. It leaves you with a sense of accomplishment and dare we say pride, and a good feeling about yourself. And I have the good fortune of getting to lay my head on a pillow in the evening and say, you know what, I made someone's life better today. And that's that interpersonal thing that goes with absolutely each one of the stories you've heard. You know, and I would charge you to go out and make your own stories. You've got a lifetime to do that.
Excellent. Thank you very much. pace. Now, you go into the law, you have tremendous success, you rise to the top of your firm.
Well, Dr. Howard, I have to tell you that this is a pretty poignant moment for me. My connection to Hampden-Sydney, and Hampden-Sydney for me is the thread that connects all the pieces of my life. My day job is being managing partner of a 60-lawyer firm in Roanoke, Virginia. And that gives me the opportunity to get very involved in community service, as well as running the business side of the law firm and practicing full-time. So I can't tell the difference between work and play. And I consider that a huge benefit. And it's all about filling gaps and using your skills that you get here in Hampden-Sydney to find those voids and use leadership to get somebody else's life in a better place.
You need to bring something to the table. I mean, these guys obviously are folks that did good things while they were at Hampden-Sydney. So tap somebody on the shoulder and ask a question. If they don't give you an answer, they're a Hampden-Sydney person, they'll point you to another person, okay? At worst comes to worst, if you don't find anybody, you come find me. That goes for everybody, and I'll introduce you to someone, as long as you bring your A game.
You will find here at Hampden-Sydney College all the omens that will help you find your personal legend. Every single one of them. And then in closing, for my comments, please understand that along your way, if you will let them, some of those omens are current Hampden-Sydney men. They will help you. Your only obligation when you receive that help is to do that for a younger Hampden-Sydney man when he comes along, and to support your college.